Yeah, hello, I'm Maxwell. I'm from the United States. I immigrated to Russia 2019, but I've been visiting Russia since 2016. I want to tell you about my life here in Russia.
Everybody wants to talk to you because Russians love foreigners.
At this point, I would say it's like completely polar opposite of reality. Like completely at this point. Stories I was seeing on CNN and Fox, but they were just completely out of touch with what was here. Life has been the same since I've been here. Even inside the metros were like museums, man. I think the demonization of Russia had started a long time ago.
So what is life like then with Russians as a darker skinned guy?
Like racial issues towards me or like hostility because I'm black. No. I mean, you're either a good person or a bad person. That's pretty much it. You need to show your documents. If you don't, they'll kick you out. Things are getting done.
What's up, everybody? This is Igor in Russia, and I'm in my most beloved city, my hometown, kind of, St. Petersburg. And I'm going to be talking to an American who lives in St. Petersburg. His name is Maxwell, and we're going to hear what his life is like here in St. Petersburg, why he's here, who is this guy. Anyway, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and of course, push like. How do you push like? What about America? Where are you from in America?
Yeah.
Before St. Petersburg, what's the route?
Actually was born in Michigan. My parents, my mom is Nigerian, my dad is Ghanaian. And in my teenage years, I actually grew up in Nigeria. And before I came back to the US to go to university. I went to University of South Carolina, and after my 4 years, I went to University of Illinois and got a master's. And it was during that time that I met my wife, and that was the time I first came to Russia, that first time when I was in Illinois. It's been quite an experience so far, and yeah, I love it here. It's been quite an experience personally. I would say actually, funny thing is maybe a little bit personal. It was actually started when I broke up with my last relationship, and that random thought came into my mind like, what if you maybe dated outside the US? And I didn't take it that seriously, and then I signed up for like a foreign dating site. Russian girls were on there. They were French as well. It just so happened that my girlfriend, now my wife, was on the site, and so we started communicating, and that's how I knew about modern day Russia and actually having the idea to come to Russia. It was just from that thought, I guess. And actually, it really surprises me sometimes. Like actually, that thought is the reason that I'm currently here. Like I never in 1,000 years even thought that I would be in Russia. After I met her, she's actually from Crimea, and they had that whole crisis in 2014. That was actually how I came to Russia. I first came here in 2016. It was in St. Petersburg, seeing the beautiful architecture, and it was a different world to me. Yeah, a different world. Seeing Nevsky Prospect for the first time, Palace Square, even inside the metros were like museums, man. It was a completely different and I'll say refreshing experience for me. 2018, we had the World Cup here. That was really exciting, and I traveled around Russia, the different cities. Yeah, that was my introduction to Russia. And
you're an American, you have citizenship, right?
Yeah, I'm an American.
Usually you would hear stories about Russians wanting to come to America.
It's not that easy to go to the US compared to an American that's coming here. Because as an American, you already have like the chance to get like a 3-year visa to be in Russia. That's before anything else. You already have that, and all you do is just submit an application, and they send it to you in the mail. That's it. But as a Russian going there, you have to go for interviews, try to convince them about your reasons coming to America and all that. You need financial documents. That was all the things that she was trying to do, and finding out that it was easier for me to actually come here. Okay, let me come here and experience things here for myself.
About life in Russia. Tell me what's good about it, and also what's bad about it in the daily life in Russia, St. Petersburg in this case.
Daily life, my opinion, daily life is, I'll say, it's convenient. You can pretty much walk to anywhere you want to. Like, there are stores around, medical centers around. Bus stop is close by. Can order food. It's pretty convenient if you don't have a car. And in the U.S., you pretty much, if you don't live in a major city, you pretty much need a car. So that aspect, I think it's very convenient.
Then what is the worst about it?
People are nice. It's just getting to know them, I guess. People might say Russians are maybe unfriendly or reserved, or maybe at a first glance, maybe if you don't know them that well, then yeah, it might appear that way.
Yeah.
But once you get to know people, like have daily contacts with them, you find out they're really curious to know you.
Does your wife help you meet some, through her friends or something? Because the language, the language is the key to knowing Russians. I can already tell you.
Yeah.
That's the reason. That's why you find it a bit hard, because I'm sure. I know that since you're darker skin, you're American. I'm sure everybody wants to talk to you because Russians love foreigners and Americans and everybody. So they are really interested about you. The reason why you feel that way is because it's language. The language is a bit hard. But if you get to speak few words, they're gonna go up over their own language skills to talk to you,
Yeah, my wife helps me with that. At home, she tries to speak some Russian to me. I mean, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I totally, not totally, but most of the conversations in Russian, I do understand. But speaking it is a totally different thing. You have to speak it fluently like a native would probably take time.
You'd say the worst thing about Russia for you right now is the language level. I mean, not yours only, that's Russians don't speak English that well.
Yeah, I would say for me personally, in order to, maybe progress, maybe professionally or in that kind of way, yeah, I would probably need to maybe my language to be like an intermediate that level.
You're getting there, I guess.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
What else can be a bit hard?
Yeah, maybe a bureaucracy, but we have it in America as well. But I guess it's good, maybe in a positive way. I don't know. It depends
Don't try to explain.
Yeah. It depends how you want to look at it. For instance, the bureaucracy is here in order to make sure, like, the right people are coming into the country.
Yeah.
People that actually want to integrate and live in Russia. So, I guess it's just like immigration anywhere. It's a process, and you go for it.
Is it hard for you to be here in Russia now that you're married to a Russian woman and you have a permanent residence?
It's a lot easier for one because you're already married. So there's a different path for you. It's a lot quicker. as compared to maybe if you were not married or if you were here on a visa.
Yeah.
I know when I was doing my paperwork for residency, it was a lot easier because I had already been married for like 3 years.
You were married already in States?
No, here in
Here,
Russia.
all right. But you
Yeah,
were
I
here.
came. 2019, I came, and it was then I decided to get married in order to make the process of getting my residency easier.
So you've been in Russia for 4 years now, and you got a pretty good experience in living, especially in St. Petersburg, right? Not many other places. But how is life different here compared to States?
I would say maybe look at it from a maybe culture view. Most of it's from a cultural. It seems to me like Russians really value like the quality of life that they live in the sense that besides working, they also prioritize time to maybe relax, go to festivals, those type of things. That was the first thing.
Active life.
Yeah, like now always grinding all the time. Like they want to work as well, but enjoy other things. That's that was the one thing that I first noticed.
What about family values? And of course, well, let's say they speak about traditional values, but let's say family values in this case. Is there any differences? It's very polarized in USA, and you cannot say just what's one value but summarize somehow the Americans and Russians.
I would say in the U.S., I would say it varies from perhaps state to state. But in general, yeah, especially in the U.S. and the Western world, we pretty much live in a liberal political environment. Whereas here in Russia, it's very, I can say it's really strong. Like, I mean, you can look around, kids being playing around, moms pushing their kids in strollers, and
yeah, a lot of young families here.
Yeah, a lot of young, especially where I live. You can come out in the evening and you see families taking a walk or things like that.
And I gotta say, you live in a very typical suburbs of St.
Yeah.
Petersburg. That's very. You coming from America, and probably you have received before you found Russia, or ended up here, moved here. But you probably know that the way the Western media portrays Russia. How do you feel that Russia is showed to the world? Is there any major differences, and why do you think it is so?
At this point, I would say it's like completely polar opposite of reality. Like completely at this point. Like I went back to the US in 2022, just right before the S-bill. And the stories I was seeing on CNN and Fox, but like they were just completely out of touch with what was here, because I've been here. It's just completely out of reality. I heard there were stories that Russians are starving, there are shortages of food, and people are flocking to the markets. Like, I've been here, it's pretty much life has been the same since I've been here. So, like, nothing much has changed.
What about brands leaving? Is there any influence on you that's instead of American brand or Western brand, it's a Russian substitute?
Yeah, maybe a couple. I know a couple of companies that have left Russia, but still there are several of them that stayed or rebranded and stayed, maybe because they didn't want to lose their market share. So it's a lot of money to just give up that, For instance, Apple, I think they rebranded themselves to iStore or something like that. They're still in Russia. So most of what they're giving our Western audiences, it's completely not not true. I don't understand. What's the agenda behind all of this?
Do you think that's the Russian people? Do you feel that they're portrayed as a nation, as a bad nation, or like dangerous Russians? How does that is in real life?
Compared to like maybe we watch 70s, 80s. I think the demonization of Russia had started a long time ago. So I guess maybe that's why when you have lies in the media, it sticks. I guess like we watch in Rocky and Afghanistan and the Soviet Union. So several of their perceptions about Russia, it's built on maybe old stereotypes, or maybe the Soviet Union, or what they think it was like.
Yep.
And they tried to connect it with modern day Russia. That's
Same tricks.
yeah, like nothing in this world ever changes, like something like that.
So how are the Russians in reality then?
Russians are cool. Like they're easy to talk to. Like the only thing, like I mentioned before, is maybe the language barrier. But once you can find that way to connect and communicate with people, you find out that coolest people you ever meet. I've never had any problems with Russians. They're, especially to a foreigner, they're very kind. Catering to foreigners. They don't want that bad image, because everyone thinks they're that way, but that's not the case.
So what is life like then with Russians as a darker skinned guy in a country where is not that many darker skinned people? There are every now and
Yeah,
then.
there are.
Yeah, they are. They're students. They work here and stuff. But what is it like? How you are like? Are people like afraid of you?
I mean, of course I get looks, but it's not like dirty looks, kind of. It's just like a look of people being curious,
Yeah.
or wanting to know where you're from. Like I've had lots of people meet me at the store and they ask, "Вы откуда?" Я из США. Как долго вы живете в России? 4 года.
So you speak Russian? You like to?
Немножко, да. Неплохо говорит.
Man, you have a good pronunciation, by the way.
Спасибо. But yeah, it's just that way. It's not like a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, like being raised a little bit in Africa, we didn't have like white people around, so
Yep.
the first white person you saw is like, oh, you're curious, like
Yeah.
know where that person came and why they came all the way down here. So
Has been there any issues, where like somebody who's behaving out of order? Even once, did you have any?
you
Because
mean
of course that exists in everywhere.
towards me?
Yeah. Any dangerous
No.
situations? No.
No, I mean it's like Russians are pretty, I would say, cultured, especially here in St. Petersburg. It's like the cultural city of the country.
Yep.
So people are, there's an understanding that you have to like behave properly,
Yep.
to foreigners and strangers, and you don't want to embarrass yourself. So like racial issues towards me, or like hostility because I'm black, no. Oh no. I mean, you're either a good person or a bad person. It's pretty much it. So yeah, I was mentioning that I haven't personally like received like hostile treatment from anyone, even in the smallest towns that I've been to. I mean, they might be curious to know where I'm from or things like that, but Other than that, no.
How about the police?
The police. There was once I was in the metro, and that was during like COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, and police just walked up to me and asked me for my documents. And I I was coming back from teaching English. English.
Yeah.
And I left the house. I was in a rush. I didn't take my documents. I didn't think I needed it. So they said, okay, you need to show your documents. If you don't, we'll kick you out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At the border or at the metro?
Metro.
Oh.
I called my wife and I told them I have my documents. I just didn't take it with me. So they said, okay, give us like a screenshot or something of your documents.
That's usually fine.
Yeah, and they just say, okay, you can go. Just make sure you have your documents on you.
Yeah, it's official. It's the law, by the way. You
Yeah.
know? But usually it means it has a. It relates to skin color though, because that's how they. Well, it's very simple how they check it. No, it's for real. I have.
After COVID, I've been around the city. Don't really need.
You don't need it. It's not about the COVID. It's about No, I think everybody needs to carry something identification.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody. It's not a foreigner thing. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I haven't had the need to worry too much about.
But notice that one happened once.
Yeah, it was just one incident. Okay.
So yeah, you live in the new area, in the outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
What is life like to live away from the center? Far away from the center, my end.
Yeah, it's a little bit more relaxed. Especially I live close. I live like literally the end of the street, Prospect, the avenue. So we have like farms close by. Yeah, close by, and nature and
this is 7 million people city.
Yeah, and like bike paths where you can ride your bicycle. Kind of a little bit lucky, I guess.
Good?
Yeah, and it's a new district, so the apartments are new. I hear they might even build a new metro station soon.
We'll wait for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Russia, when the order comes from the high, everything is super fast. But if it doesn't, it's gonna take a while.
Well, I guess when you have the right people in government, they make sure things are done. Like president.
But Beglov, the mayor, he's been good on St. Petersburg. That's why he's been, I think, re-elected many times.
Yeah.
But in Russia in general, what I mean is.
Yeah, they get things done, especially when you have the right people in place, like Moscow, Mayor Sobyanin.
Yep. Just came from Moscow. Amazing. By the way, what about the infrastructure? In here,
it's
how's
great.
everything like houses, roads? I don't know.
It's nice. I've actually been here and I've seen like several renovations. I live close by here, and I remember when I moved in, the apartments on Komendansky were sort of like older, like from but in the past couple of years they have been renovated, and of course the roads too. Like as you can see, these ones are new, and anytime they need to be repaired, like they get repaired. So I guess things are getting done, for me.
Do you regret coming to Russia? Now is the
Uh,
time to say.
do I regret? No. But perhaps things could be better for me, you know. Maybe speaking a lot more Russian fluently
Yeah.
would improve things for me personally. I have no reason to regret ever coming to Russia. Like people say, don't go to Russia. Or I mean, why?
All right, guys, this was Maxwell telling his story from St. Petersburg. I'm so thankful that you came by, that we met up. Guys, this is Igor in Russia, foreigner traveling to Russia, telling my stories and other people's stories through the channel. So if you want to comment about what Maxwell told, then please leave a comment, subscribe, push like, and of course, we are actually almost neighbors. So if you guys are willing, we'll do another video with new topics. Thanks a lot for coming. We're gonna grab a beer right now or a coffee.
No problem. Anytime.
See you guys. Bye bye. Yeah.
There you go.
Not necessarily home.
Yeah, maybe a stray cat.